All right. Hopefully we're going live now. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties here. Slash might still be having them. We're just trying to confirm on our end if we actually got this live stream going.
I think we're here now.
Great. We are here. Okay. So sorry for that. Sorry for the faulty intro.
Yeah. This was getting a little too routine by day 4, so we thought we really needed to mix some stuff up.
Yeah, it turns out planning going live and actually having that work are two different things. So apologies.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
We're still here. We've been talking for like 6 minutes now.
Hours.
We already used our best jokes. I don't really want to say them again. They were hilarious though. You would have loved them.
Yeah, they were gold.
We did realize we didn't introduce ourselves during the first 3 days, so
yeah.
I'm Ashkan.
And I'm kind of a mysterious person. Don't really like to be out in the public that much, so I'm not going to share my name for now.
And once again, definitely Ashkan. Okay, so
we
did it. We're here.
Today we have more things to talk about. We realized that some people are in different situations for shutting down right now. Some people are doing it by choice, and some people are doing it out of a requirement by their whatever level of government that is making those requirements. And so we thought we'd go over some of the things that we did actually when we shut down for people who are kind of still going through that process right now. And we kind of released like an operational checklist, things like actually what we're doing to kind of put the float tanks into hibernation mode and get our shop ready, and what sort of like little bit of daily maintenance we've been going into the shop to do. But we didn't talk too much about kind of the whole other side of that, which is, I guess, kind of like the communication side, the marketing communication side.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing with your customers, your website, your emails, all that sort of stuff.
So we thought we'd take the chance to chat with you about it today a little bit. Obviously, I think one of the biggest things, right as soon as you're making that decision to shut down at a certain point, is to contact all of your customers that are scheduled to come in and actually cancel out those appointments. Obviously, they're not going to be able to make them anymore, and honestly, people are super understanding. I think at this point, people realize that anything they had scheduled anywhere and anytime for the next couple weeks at least is going to not go as planned. So, when we were reaching out to people, no one got angry or railed against us, or, it was like shaking their fist at Float On for not letting them come in or anything like that.
Yeah, everybody gets it. Also nobody really knows how long we're going to be closed. We were just looking at our schedule yesterday to see how far out our appointments go. And, we have a couple scattered appointments all the way out into July. And so we kind of had this question of, do we need to cancel just all of those right now, or just we told everyone we'd be closed until April 1st, and I very much doubt we're going to open back up April 1st, but that was the amount of people we canceled on so far.
I think we're not even going to put out an April Fool's Day joke saying we're reopening on April 1st.
Yeah, seems
like that's how serious things are,
What we decided ultimately was just to kind of cancel people. Like every week we would cancel not that week's appointments, but the week after that. So we're kind of on this 2 weeks out sort of time span. So every Monday we check in, we see what's going on. That current week has already been canceled last week, and then we go ahead and cancel whatever appointments we had the week after that. So we decided not to just cut off every appointment we had forever into the future, but just kind of have a little built-in check-in period and go through it as things develop.
And that's kind of nice for a couple reasons. If we are able to reopen after a month, for example, we can just still have any appointments that were further out still on the books, and people can kind of actually follow through with the plans they had made. Another nice benefit is just for members. If we were canceling and calling people, especially members who had appointments that were 3 months out, and just saying we don't know when we're going to reopen, it feels like that might make members more likely to cancel their memberships, or just make them more nervous in general about floats that they were stockpiling.
And it was almost entirely members.
Yeah, for sure.
And they just hey, book me every Thursday for the next couple months at this time or whatever.
Yeah, so it just felt like, both possibly detrimental to memberships, and also we actually don't know when we're going to reopen. So just kind of doing a rolling period of a couple weeks also feels more realistic and true to life.
Another thing that should be pretty obvious, but you need to somehow stop people from continuing to book with you. So obviously if they call on the phone, you're not going to book them in. But everybody has some sort of online scheduling software, and you're going to want to go in there to kind of block stuff off. And same sort of thing, it's kind of another question about, like, do you block just a certain period of time off and allow people to keep booking into the future, or just block everything off? For us, we kind of just decided to stop all future appointments, just because we didn't want people to start booking in mid-April just to have us have to call and cancel those people at that point. So we're like, you know what, we'll have a way better sense of things further along in this, and we can figure out what to do at that point in terms of when we want to open our booking back up.
Yep, and in the helm for turning off booking, it's super easy. Just in the setup pages, there's a single checkbox for turning off the booking. So if you're on the helm and you don't want to go through and just drag and block off, or use a schedule override to block off all your days, that's kind of a nice one. It replaces the booking block with just a little message that says booking is currently not available, which I think is also kind of nicer than just showing these big empty days throughout the entire time period. So yeah, just a little pro helm tip. I know a lot of other software has something similar, and of course, regardless of what software you're using or how you're setting it up, definitely also put a message up there at the top of the screen for the booking or the store or your gift card page mentioning that you're closed, of course, just so people don't get confused. Sometimes those links are just out there in the world, and they might be getting there not just from your website. So especially if your entire area isn't on a lockdown or you haven't been forced to shut or anything like that, just making sure you have clear messaging, even on your booking side of things, as opposed to just your website is good.
Another thing to consider is sending out some sort of email blast to your newsletter list. This is probably going to change the most based off your specific context. Obviously, if you're in a place where your entire city or state or country has been shut down for everything but essential businesses, you don't necessarily need to have a very lengthy explanation about why you're shut down in an email blast. I think everyone kind of assumes. You may even consider not having to send an email blast if you don't really feel like you have anything relevant to say. But there are a couple things you might want to address with your customers. I know a lot of float centers have things like service credits or gift cards or something that may have expiration dates, and that's a common question you might be getting. And so telling people, hey, we're going to extend those expiration dates, don't worry about it, or dealing with any logistics like that, and especially if it's good news and you can be generous with it, is kind of a worthwhile thing to send out.
If you are planning on launching some kind of gift card deal, like we talked about in episode 1 of the Bathrobe Chronicles, you may remember 3 days ago, long time, classic, instant classic. But as we talked about in episode 1, you might want to consider doing something to try and sell gift cards while you're closed, or floats in general, just so you can keep some kind of income going, especially to do things like pay your rent. And if you know that you're going to be launching something like that, and you can get together enough details in time for your email announcement, kind of combining those two is an option as well. Just announcing, hey, we're closing, but we're running this special on whatever it is that you're doing to try and get some gift cards through the sales system.
You'll also want to probably put out messaging everywhere that you have communication streams with people, right? So social media is another one of those. Trying to post something up, just mentioning that you're closed for the foreseeable future. And that's another thing that we were probably going to talk about at some point coming up, but not totally just going dead on social media and turning kind of even your social media presence into a ghost town, but maybe actively keeping up with some amount of content that you're putting out on there even while you're not open for business.
It's good. People come to float for relaxation and for sanity, and for some of our members especially, not having access to these awesome tools is really a hindrance at this point, especially when anxiety is running so high. So, being a resource to your community and putting out some good tips on just staying calm and being able to relax from home and getting that same float tank experience, is actually a cool value you can provide for sure.
Or telling people to panic, That's also
oh my worthwhile. God! Everybody run!
Someone's got to do it, so, it might be you.
If not you, who? You took a deep breath there, like you were gonna...
I take breaths all the time, actually, constantly.
But you heard it here first,
Yeah.
Just breathe all the
keep
time.
breathing.
Yeah. Were you going to say something again?
Change your website. That's another thing we have written down in front of us here to talk about. There's, like your website probably has a bunch of stuff on it. Like, yeah, book your appointment, get in the flow tank right now. And that's maybe not the right language to use at the current moment. So you might want to just go do a quick pass and make sure the language on your website makes some amount of sense. We actually put just like a big banner on the homepage of our website mentioning that we're closed so that it was shockingly obvious, and it didn't kind of just seem like everything was normal, and then people would get to our booking page and be like, what's going on? I guess if someone has absolutely no contact with anything that is happening in the world right now.
Yep. Yeah, strangely useful. You're looking at notes over there? I'm just looking at a live stream about, I'm just looking at us, smiling at ourselves.
I have our notes are encrypted in the messages behind us. This is what I'm doing.
Oh, I said it's clever, yeah. Cool, sorry, I got distracted by this. Did you mention the changing the booking links
I didn't.
to order online?
Don't talk about that.
Fun tip. We realized after several days of being closed that our main call to action on the website was still book now. Which is an easy thing to overlook when you're putting a little announcement on there. We did it, we know that it's easy to do. So,
because we have those buttons all over the place.
Yeah.
They're on 12 different pages on our website.
So pro tip, change that book now to an order online button or get gift cards or something that's actually a call to action, that people can realistically do while online booking is disabled. So, good catch a few days later, but you can get it earlier with these tips.
Also, probably a good idea to change your voicemail on your phone so if people call,
Voicemail, right?
they're not
I thought
confused.
you were going to say change your voice.
Yeah?
Just use a different voice for this period, you don't
The
want
virus
people
can't
knowing
find
who
you
you are.
if it doesn't know your identity. That's the scientists have been
Very clear on that. Very
Yeah.
clear. Change your voicemail. Right. Yep.
And we actually even just forwarded our voicemail to Google Voice, a Google Voice number that we have. And that's kind of helpful in a couple ways. It means that you can just have your voicemail on your Google Voice explain the temporary situation. It's a slight bit of saved work because it means when this is done, you just switch back and your previous voicemail is still there. So that's cool. And it also just means that we can respond to voicemails and stuff from the comfort of our homes and our bathrobes. We don't have to go into our shop and actually check the phone system in there. We can just log online, get people's voicemails, and you can even call through your Google Voice number and call people back if they have any questions.
And we do the call forwarding. We just contact our phone service, right, to set that up?
There's just a number you dial. You pick up the phone from your shop for us, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
dial star 71 or something like that. I can't remember. You just dial 911, I think. And then someone picks up and you tell them you need to forward your calls.
Don't tell them that you
tell
heard it
them
from us, though.
Yes, it is an emergency.
I can't figure out how to change my voicemail setting.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
Yep.
it. So.
And again, most importantly, just be nice with your messaging. Again, if you can help people with other tips on relaxing, things like meditating and doing yoga, anything that people can do really to just stay sane during this. I think that's a really nice voice to put out there, either an email, on your website even. I've seen some float centers actually post up resources right on their website. They're like, hey, we're not open or taking appointments right now, but here's some other ways that you can hopefully get some relaxation in at home. Again, just try to be a resource to the community, even though we obviously can't actually be open for business.
So let's hit the stream, see what's going on in the old chatterbox. We got, hi guys. Nice. Hello.
Hi. Yeah, good to see you.
Advice for centers opening soon. As in opening, brand new opening.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's do that tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. No, that is a good one though. We'll totally cover that. I think that's its own whole bath. That needs a separate bathrobe for that one, Someone says that they think we need more coffee today.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I have this giant Doctor Who coffee mug full of coffee. Does that mean we don't seem as exuberant as usual? There was the tech difficulties at the beginning, that really kind of threw us off. Was maybe the problem.
Coffee probably would have fixed that.
Yep, okay, make a note for tomorrow. Bigger cups of coffee. Good. Thank you for the advice. Someone else said that we have sweet robes. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Great.
And we said to feel free to drop questions in here.
Oh,
Yeah, good
it's
advice.
nice of us.
Thanks,
yeah.
us. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We will see you tomorrow. Same bathrobe time, same bathrobe channel.
That's right. We're not going anywhere at all. So great.
I'm gonna go somewhere though.